Okay, if I could get everybody's attention. We will start our meeting. Thank you for being patient with us. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the August 15th meeting. The motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion or corrections or anything? All in
I
favor?
have a little one and it's very silly. I'm supposed to explain it, but Margot's name has a T at the end of it.
Oh.
Sorry. Back in the future. I wasn't gonna say it, but I was like, maybe I will.
One correct.
Yes.
All right, all in favor? That one correct. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, we will entertain comments from the audience, limited to 2 minutes, and Summer will let you know when you have 30 seconds left. And based on our policy that we implemented in July, it has to be about something that's on the agenda. So if you would, just let us know what agenda item that you're referencing.
I don't,
Where is the agenda?
I don't think it is on the agenda. It's about the banning of books and so I don't even know if that's applicable. Okay, that's fine. That's all I had. Otherwise, you're doing a great job.
Forrest Erickson.
I also wanted to speak on the free exchange of ideas and the books and the contents thereof. I think that should always be on the agenda.
Any opposed?
I mean, if it's
It's not on the
if it's
agenda.
state law,
Yeah.
that we have to.
That's not on the agenda unless you want to, we do have the collection development policy. That's on the agenda tonight, if it's something to do with collection development, perhaps.
Is that in jeopardy of being,
It won't be on every month, but it is on this month.
is it subjected to being scrutinized by who decides whether it's good or bad? Or readable or not readable to children?
That's part of that.
Then it is on the agenda. Gotcha. Okay, I'm coming up. If I get there.
Well, I have to say, we don't ban books. And it's a
Well,
policy.
Not according to some people that are disputing this, that there's online chatter of, the library is shoving trans ideals down children's throats. I don't know if you're privy to those conversations, but it's absolutely ludicrous. I might as well sit here. Do I have to? Get up? Okay,
It's fine.
That's kind of the reason I'm here is there's so much distaste by these small groups of people that have their own ideology of what Blount County should be. That want to make the rules of what is bought by the library. They've even suggested going to the commissioners and trying to get them to reduce funding for the library, just so they can decide what books are available. At a physical therapy meeting today, well, physical therapy I had, a bunch of us were talking about books being, not accessible. The parent had a book that she didn't want a child to read, so she asked them not to, to find him another book. And this is the way it's supposed to work. The parent has some input, not a small group of people or a hateful church that decides what is read and what isn't read. So I would like the discretion of the library when they do review a book to come in here, that it's for all kids. That it's for the kids that have 2 mummies, 2 daddies. It's for the kids that are LGBTQ. We can't exclude those kids. They are here. You've actually had a couple of teenagers that were here speaking, educated, great kids, that were lesbians. We can't exclude them. They are part of our community and we have to have things for them too. We can't become, Okay, oh, we can't become this critical far. I don't want to say the words far right conservative that think everything is in their control and everything should be this way, that hateful is the only way I can describe it. And they're talking badly about the library constantly. But please, consider all children when deciding books. Thank you.
Forrest Erickson.
Hi, I'm Forrest Erickson, a resident of the Clover Hill subdivision, and I come to speak in favor of vigorous competition in the marketplace of ideas and some history of Blount County and the book I want you to acquire and add, Cujo's Cave.
We got it, by the way.
All righty. Nevertheless, you should hear what people have written about it. I would like more people to know about how the Society of Friends of Blount County got the moral question about slavery so right and ran an underground railroad right here in Blount County, and how the religious organizations, other religious organizations got the moral questions about slavery and Jim Crow and civil rights so wrong for so long. A friend shared with me an article from the Knoxville Focus. I'll read part of it. Friendsville in Blount County is not your typical little town. Its founding in history says much about the fortitude and spunk of its settlers and residents. Settled in the 1790s by the Religious Society of Friends, or Quakers, the early residents opposed war and slavery. Today, about 750 people reside here in a mix of rural and suburban settings. The community is about 3 square miles and located just off US 321 Lamar Alexander Highway between Maryville and Lenoir City. Most people don't know that the novel by John Townsend Trowbridge called Cujo's Cave came from a conversation that the author had with Friendsville's William J. Hackney prior to 1863. Hackney and the Quakers had long used the cave on Hackney's property to
30 seconds.
secretly house runaway slaves as part of the Underground Railroad. I think that this is important for citizens of Blount County to know about their own history that is so interesting right here and so diverse and protective of minority rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Marge Meredith.
Well, hi there. I was thinking about this and I would come for a couple months, but I just wanted to personally voice my support for you all. We are all under attack. You are much more in the fire than we are. And I think that you all are doing a great job. I think that Blount County is a pretty homogeneous place, despite what some newcomers they just really misread the community, and I'm very proud of this library and scared as hell about the stuff that we're hearing about libraries around the country. So I hope that we can all stand together and fight this discrimination. But thank you all very much for what you do.
Steve Wildsmith.
Hey, y'all. Steve Wildsmith here. I'm a resident of Blount County, and I wanted to speak on the proposed collection development and weeding materials policy. I know that you all have your work cut out for you, and often it's a thankless job that you guys don't get paid for this. It is something you do out of the good of your hearts because of your concern for the community. And I wanted to thank you for that. I think your policies thus far have been judicious and prudent, and I would urge you to continue that path, to not let to borrow a quote from Mr. Agnew, nattering at Bob's negativity influence the decision-making process when it comes to the collection of and the weeding of materials from this library. As other speakers have stated, it is a forum for us all, and Blount County is not one color, one faith, one sexual orientation. We have a diverse community here, and I think that's one of the things that makes it strong, and especially the fact that we have such great content and books available in the library, some great resources for children, and I think you guys are doing an excellent job in maintaining that, and I urge you to continue to do so moving forward. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is board report. Just want to remind everyone that the trustee workshop is next Thursday, the 28th. Anybody planning to go? Says me. Okay, so we've got Logan and Andy won't be here, I don't think, anyway. I think he said he was gonna be out of town. So I'll get with you, figure out the time that we may do it. The week of October 15 through 19, 15 through 20, I can't remember the exact Monday date of that week. Anyway, that is Friends Week. So we have a couple of things going on to recognize our friends. Lanny has been working with our 3 governments to come up with a joint resolution, and they are going to name that week Friends Week, and they will be presenting at the Friends Bruncheon on October the 19th at 10:30. Any of you all are available? We are partnering with the staff to provide brunch for them, and I have a sign-up sheet if any of you want to make a dish, a dessert, fruit, condiments, want to volunteer to help set up and clean up, all of that. Or if you're not available and you want to donate some money, I'll take some money and we will give that to Chelsea so she can use that money however she needs to provide that. So that is October the 19th at 10:30, and I'm gonna float this sign-up sheet down and you all can sign up now for that. But we're really excited and we hope all the friends will be able to attend. And we appreciate our government officials coming up with this joint resolution. I think Maryville City, Manny, will they be doing that at their city council meeting?
Yes, and Alcoa.
And Alcoa, and then the county commission will be doing it that evening at their commission meeting. So if any of you are so inclined to attend whichever government that you are associated with on their meeting date, that would be great to recognize our friends. But we thank them as much as we can. So that's all the reports I have.
So I don't have much this month for youth services. They are preparing for some upcoming events, including our fall festival. I'll have more details about the fall festival, Santa Claus coming next month. Adult services, they have not stopped, they have not skipped a beat. They've had a tremendous amount of program, including they had a square dancing program a couple of weeks ago that was well attended. 100 square dancers were dancing in the main gallery the same day as the book sale. It was extremely popular. And we have our first foreign film club on September the 30th. This is a brand new club. It's going to be held in this room on Saturday, September 30th at noon. Each month we'll be watching a foreign film, foreign masterpiece, and then there'll be a lively discussion. For our first film, it will be the German thriller M, starring Peter Lorre. He was 1934. That one. Some upcoming ones, we have Nosferatu in October, The Seventh Seal, Godzilla. We have the original Godzilla movie from '54. It should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. We have a local office fair that will be on Saturday, October the 7th. And our special guest will be Dr. William Carl. He will be speaking along with Dr. Jim Stovall, our previous writer-in-resident, as well as our current writer-in-resident, Sherry McCarter. She will be speaking as well. Again, that is on October the 7th, and that is from 9:30 to 1:30 in the afternoon. Focus on Seniors is coming back, the ever-popular program, series of events. That will begin on September the 26th, which is a Tuesday. That is a new date, a new day. It was normally on Wednesday, but between them and Rotary, it was just pretty crowded here. So they have moved Focus on Seniors to Tuesday. It'll be at 11 o'clock in the morning in the main gallery area. And the first topic will be fall prevention.
Storyteller. Saturday.
Storyteller, yes, there will be a storyteller event this coming Saturday. At between 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock here in the library. It will be not in the main gallery, but it will be in these meeting rooms here.
So the library's gonna be open or just the meeting rooms? Just the meeting rooms.
Yeah. Over in the cafe, I was gonna say soda, but the drink of the month is Biblioteca. Bilbo birthday cold brew. He is from Lord of the Rings, and it's an ice cream cold brew with pumpkin spice cold form, whatever that. I do not drink coffee, so this is all.
Yes.
Hieroglyphics. But it's a coffee, go have one. I heard it's excellent, so please stop by.
An Irish cream cold brew with a pumpkin spice.
Oh, I said ice cream.
Vote, you did. It was like, okay.
Ice cream on.
It's called it.
Irish cream, yes, ice cream. Yeah. Thinking of. Over in patron services, we do have Beth Coppinger. She has officially joined us, as well as Lacey Lyon. She has her master's degree in library science through Southern Connecticut State University. In the month of August, we had 475 new library cards. So that train keeps rolling. It's 400 plus every month. I have already completed the annual public library survey. That it's due at the end of the month, but I completed that already. Updates on the remote locker. I have some great news. The remote locker will be delivered to the town of Louisville on October the 12th. Now, we're looking at the end of October, early November to have a grand opening, because the wrap will be installed after the remote locker has been delivered. So we're looking at, and I'll have more details next month, late October, early November to have a grand opening, ribbon cutting. We will be the first in the state of Tennessee to have a remote locker. We will be reaching out to all the local governing bodies, and definitely Louisville and Mayor Pugh for giving a thumbs up and go ahead for that. As far as the automated library return system, that'll be going in front of the commission this coming Thursday. They will vote on that. Once that is voted, we can have our architect start the design plans for the book return system and get that going. It's gonna take about 4 to 6 weeks to get done. So then after that, I'm thinking the November meeting, it'll go in front of the board for approval. I don't think it'll be done by mid-October. So let's just on the safe side, November, and then if approved, we can bring that to general services and purchasing, and that'll go out for bid for 2 weeks. So get that going. The other thing that we've started to look at is exploring other ILS systems. So that is the catalog that our patrons use, our staff use, our patron services, checking books in and out, our catalogers, processing books, as well as patrons. So in my years as director, I've seen several ILS systems. I think it's always good every so often to explore other ILS companies out there. So that's what we're going to start doing starting next month. We're going to be looking at interviewing 5 different systems and see where it goes. I mean, we may stay with the one we currently have and may be very satisfied, or there may be one out there that has what we're really looking for. So we're going to begin that process next month. And I am going to now turn over to Anjanae in the finance section of the report.
So we are tracking very well. What is it? We are under our, I guess you could say expenditure expectations. well and truly under, and that is mainly because if you look at the second page where it has operations. Line 399 is under contracted services, which is where our maintenance. Which is now handled by the county, that's where those funds come from. And so, we are still in discussion with finance on whether or not that's gonna be taken as one lump sum, or if that's gonna be meted out over the months. If it disappears as one lump sum, you will see our expenditure percentage go increase dramatically. So just keep an eye out on line 399. Other lines to look out for are also line 506, which is the general liability insurance. Usually by now they have taken that or withdrawn that money already out of the account, but it's still in there, so it's looking like we're well and truly below. And then the same with line 513, which is our workers' comp insurance. So that's how we're shaping up with in terms of our expenditures to date. With our revenues, we are doing very well, and it is inflated because it is including the foundation donation, and there's a paragraph at the bottom that kind of summarizes where we are and how those funds will be allocated, and then once they're allocated, how they will be dispensed, and then you'll get an update as we move forward. The one thing that is a little unusual, if you look at our revenue sheet, you'll notice that the city of Maryville has yet to make a payment. We're gonna reach out to them. They were all mailed on the same day, but sometimes, things get lost. So, but as you can see, we're still in very good standing. And do you have any questions on what you've seen or?
Actually, mail checks.
I don't actually write the check, so I would imagine the county does. I would imagine the county does, yes. Joyce always says, I'm gonna do a check run, and if it's a physical check, I can't imagine any other way.
Electronic.
I don't handle finance of the finance department.
Any other questions? Manny or? Okay, thank you. Next, Board of Foundation Board, Chad.
Thanks, Stephanie. We had to reschedule our September meeting, and it's gonna be next week, and a date to be determined. I'll let Stephanie and Manny both know when we come up with a final date for that. We did meet last month and approved the trustees' request to fund the Johnson Architecture for whatever it is, proposal for their design fee, and so hopefully that's been processed. Over the next couple of months, we'll be looking to recruit a couple more board members. We have 2 rolling off at the end of the year, and so those are the things in addition to the Joy Bishop memorial reception and things of that nature that we'll be focused on.
Joy Bishop. Naming of the bridge, I should have brought that up in my report. City Council did approve Joy Bishop to be named to be put on the bridge, and I think Tom Taylor was kind of being in charge of getting plaques made and so on. And we'll get to your report here in just a few minutes. Do we know anything about timing of any of this? That you
I made some phone calls to try to figure that out.
Okay.
I've gotten returns on that. So if you all, I don't know, Manny, do you know it? Have you heard the date?
I have not, no, and I saw Carolyn and Alicia Blunt, the gala, and they were still fundraising. They weren't at their goal yet, but they were more than 50%. So this was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the marble.
For the last time I talked with
Okay.
Carolyn, they said it may be pushed into November, but I've not heard.
Yeah.
Excuse me, a definitive date.
But I have seen at the Pink Marble Festival, they were actually working on
Oh, were they?
Yes, so I got to meet the fellow that's doing it.
Oh.
And talking about, got some information from him on exactly, kind of the process. So it's well on its way. Yeah, he's taking good care to create this, this bust of that, which that doesn't sound right. It's not a statue, but it's not just a bust, but it's gonna be gorgeous.
Well, let's just say, we'll skip over and just go ahead and talk about the gift committee update.
So the information was brought to the gift committee. Three Foundation, the Friends and I were there, and we did approve the gift to be accepted by the group. Given to accept the item, not knowing what it really.
It's gonna be, I guess the best word that I can use is gonna be classy. It's gonna be something that everybody's gonna be very, very proud of. And the folks that were there, both from Tennessee Marble as well as the crafts people that were there were, it was kind of what they were pointing everybody to go and take a look at that, so.
So at the end of the day, it's a complete donation to the foundation. There is no additional restrictions on that. Because at one point, I guess, the Marble company was interested in having something that they could utilize as part of their contribution, but my understanding is it's a donation by this particular organization to the library via the foundation.
And
we're good with it.
And any funds I think raised over what they needed for the artist was to be donated to the foundation.
That's my understanding, yes.
Any questions about any of that? Okay, Dee, report of the Friends.
Report of the Friends. Well, our book sale went off, but I can't say without a hitch because you heard earlier, the elevator went down at noon on Friday, and thank you, Manny, for helping push it. So we got it back up just before the end of the day. But the first day, we made about halfway through the day and Square went down. Square lost a data center. We were not able to process credit card payments for the half a day. But the third day went without a hitch and we made over 15,000. We were very happy with that. Last week, Diane Rocco, who's my eBay director, and another member downstairs, we went to Ripley, Tennessee. I'm not sure if you know where that is, but it's about an hour north of Memphis. And we helped the Ripley group get set up on eBay. And started, they're actually gonna have a big ceremonial kickoff this week on Thursday to go sell their first books online. Terry Ford, who is prominent in the cooking world, friends with Julia Child, he was actually the founder of the James Beard Award. And he died earlier this year and donated 30,000 cookbooks to the Friends group. So we were up to our necks in cookbooks, trying to get
Our Friends group?
no, the Friends group of Ripley.
Oh, okay, I was like, that's really.
So the Ripley group. So we helped them get everything ready, and they're excited about getting the sales going. But we were really happy just to go out, get started.
Where is Ripley again?
It's north of Memphis, Lauderdale County. We had a celebration this morning in eBay for our August numbers. Last year for August, we made $9,700. This year for August, we made almost $14,000. So we had a little quiche and sandwiches and stuff to celebrate. And I thought I was gonna be able to report today that we hit our $100,000 milestone, but we are 99.6. So I'll be over the next day, but it took us till November 27th to reach that milestone last year. So we're really happy with our progress and the changes we've been making. You mentioned Friends Week, Stephanie. We have a great creative little committee going to come up with some contests. We'll have a contest and a display. We have some things also to honor our friends, different little things that we've been investigating. So we're pretty excited about the week and making it sort of a fun week, and not just for the volunteers, but for our members who are our friends as well, and having some things available to them. So I was gonna mention the break-in that we had downstairs. I don't know if everybody knows, they broke in the back doors in the middle of the morning. But we were able to get the idiots out of there, and ultimately they were charged and arrested and charged. So we have sort of quite a few of our volunteers sort of on high alert now for, so if you wander down and you don't have a tag, you may be challenged. They're just,
So this was during business hours?
yeah, 10:30 in the morning. They just broke the doors open downstairs.
Teenagers being.
No, they were in their 20s, wouldn't you say, many 20s? Anyway,
Were they on drugs or? They wanted to-
I couldn't tell. I'm not always sure what they were up to, but it wasn't good.
I will say with that, that happened on, I think, what day it was, but it came up pretty quick. And I had called Maryville PD and they responded quickly to the incident, and handled it as they always do, just so perfect and so professional. But unfortunately, what happened was downstairs, the second door was not locked. Now there's like little latches, it was unlocked, so it's easy to open doors, and they thought they heard someone screaming inside, and
Yeah.
Maryville PD took care of that.
Is there an audible alarm on that door?
No, but
No.
we talked about the friends of talking about putting some kind of little thing, like you break the thing and it just gives you a little noise, so we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So did they just push the door and kick it in, or did they actually come in? and-
They yanked it off.
They yanked it, two yanked and opened it up, just walked in. Now, if that other door was locked, that would have been much harder to open that. It was just.
Yeah, now it's really solid.
And they just came in but
The
didn't do
county
anything?
came out really quickly.
Yeah.
No, I found them by the elevator and kicked them out. Armed with my paperback in my hand.
Let's get you some mace.
Either stupid or brave, I don't know. So that's it from the friends, having fun downstairs.
Kicking out.
Thank you, Dave. Report of the Ocoee River Regional Library, Liz, we're glad to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Been a little bit. I know Nikki did a fabulous job for me last time, so I appreciate you all being gracious with her, and glad she was able to be here and report for us. I don't have a whole lot. Our main thing going right now, of course, is trustee workshop, which Stephanie mentioned. We are, I would like to give shout out to the library for getting the top grant, which is training opportunities for the public. And that is a grant where we partner with the Department of Economic and Community Development to provide those grants to our public libraries. That's for digital literacy training and all kinds of things, Wi-Fi hotspots, equipment, paying trainers to come in and teach folks digital literacy skills and solar charging tables and all those kinds of different things. So, we're proud to be able to provide that grant for our libraries, and kudos to Blount County for getting that. Also, the tech grant, the Friends applied on behalf of the library to receive the tech grant. Did you apply for the top grant too? Was that the Friends too? Yeah, so thanks to the Friends group for doing that too. And the tech grant, of course, is a 50-50 matching grant for technology equipment. So congratulations to the library for getting those grants, and that's through IMLS, which is Institute for Music and Library Services. So we're proud to be able to provide that. I emailed you all the reads numbers, the circulation statistics for the statewide consortia, and that's really most of what I have.
Thank you, Liz. All right, moving on to the agenda, under old business. First item is proposed public use of children's room policy. We reviewed it last month, and this will be, I need a first and a second. I need a motion to approve this policy, and we'll talk about it with any corrections that we need to make. Do I have a motion? I move that we accept this policy.
A second.
Do I have a second? Okay, is there any corrections or discussion? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Second policy under old business, summer, there was a little spacing issues. Summer sent out an updated version of that, so with those corrections, the three spacing issues. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed rules of conduct policy? So moved.
Second.
First and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thanks. Motion carries. The last item under old business is proposed Bookmark Cafe employee health policy. Do I have a motion to approve this policy? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
I just have two little kind of spacing. You found it.
Yeah.
All right, just need a space there and take out a space there and put one there. Just spacing, it's not changing anything. It's between the first and the cold. Okay. Now we have a first and a second, all in favor?
What were your, I didn't say, was
It
it the
was just a-
well-being and the,
It was a spacing on under the first line up there of the Bookmark Cafe.
yeah,
There's a space there.
yes.
And then under the policy where it says the second line there, BCPL, there's an extra space there.
Yeah, I see that. Is well-being right though? Is that one word, well-being? And well-being,
I think it's both. You can need to hyphenate it.
hyphenated, well hyphen being?
Yeah, probably.
I think.
I think.
Yes, I think you're
It's been a
right.
while since I taught language arts, but I think there is.
Yeah, okay.
There's a space after, same second line after complying with. There's another space. And then there's also one, the third bullet point at the very bottom of the page. I don't know what that first word is, but I know it's E colon. There's an additional space.
Isn't that on a second page, cafe employees, paragraph, there's one before, the doctor, there's actually space.
Just spaces.
Yeah, just
Spaces.
Talk about all the spacing issues.
Get carried away.
Apparently.
We have a first and a second, and with these corrections, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you all. I think Summer does that just to test us. Let's see if we read the policy.
Making sure that-
All right, under new business. Proposed collection, development and weeding materials policy. We're not voting on this tonight, but I do want to just open it up for discussion and any corrections that you all may have found. Anything on the first page there, page 1?
We need to, is there a reason we put future residents? I just kind of wonder to simplify it, you could eliminate present and future residents and just say the library recognizes a responsibility to maintain an overall balance. And
What page?
First page, second paragraph, second sentence.
yes, sorry. Not to be picky, but it's just more words than is needed.
So
Why do we have a responsibility to future residents? We don't know who they are.
Just residents.
So all residents,
Responsibility.
To maintain an overall balance of opinion.
Yeah,
I
residents.
mean, just less words.
Yes.
So I think you could omit present through that. And just say, the library recognizes a responsibility to maintain an overall balance of opinion and viewpoint.
But I do think that we need to keep something, some sort of language about adding the materials with it being collection development. Because I think that's, I mean, I think since it is collection development policy, we need to have adding materials that maintain an overall balance of opinion, viewpoint, and source of enrichment.
So a responsibility to add materials that maintain. Anyway, it's not a big deal, it's just like, well, but future residents, do we have an obligation to future residents who we don't even know who they are?
Just say residents,
Yeah.
to the residents.
To residents.
Yeah. Which we do have
Yeah,
responsibility to residents.
residents in adding materials.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not a good wordsmith.
This policy is one that we do have to review based on the most recent agreement. We review this annually, so that was inserted in there. Okay, anything on the second page?
I think there's a word missing, the first paragraph. Second to the last sentence, libraries may omit from this collection materials that some patrons feel are important.
Wait, Susan, will you back up and start again and tell me where you are?
The first paragraph on page 2.
Okay.
I think it's the second to last sentence, seems like it's missing a
Yeah,
word.
it is. Or that patrons feel are not important. I'm like you, or is there something missing?
It seems like-
I don't know that there's anything missing from that,
Yeah.
because libraries may omit materials that some patrons feel are important.
Yeah.
So yeah, they may not be there.
I see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see what you're
because
saying.
it counterposes the sentence before. It says some might find it objectionable, some might find it.
They omit from the collection materials that some patrons feel. Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Okay.
Under responsibility for selection, I think we can take out on the 1, 2, 3, 4th line down in the red area. I think the library director will provide lists, a list. Do we need a list? If it's singular, I mean, maybe we'll provide lists, yeah.
Mhm.
It throws me off. If you're saying a list, you would need the A.
Yeah, typically, it's,
So it's
You
okay,
know,
never mind, it's okay.
Yeah, it's good, grammatically.
And I have
Yeah.
the current list, so in the month of August, we have added 450 titles. So,
Typical, or is that a?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Now I did not look at all. of them. I'll tell you that, like. The biography of Barbara Streisand, the music, the album, the singles, I'm not gonna review that book. Shocker, I know.
We tend to buy 400 and some books a month.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I have no idea. The regular-
So,
What's that?
Are those already in circulation? You're already in circulation?
so these were just ordered. So some of them are not in, so I don't think the Barbara Streisand book is, and Stephen King has a new book.
So, and how do you propose to present all of the books to the board?
Give us a list.
I can do that, so I spoke to other directors and we're all trying to figure this out, because this is all new for all of us, and when you're dealing with a library like ours, or say Williamson County. You have a healthy budget, so you're ordering over 400 books versus some of the small libraries that are ordering 30 a month. So however you want it, I can distribute it via electronically, you just would have to scan this and send it to you, whatever you feel comfortable with.
I propose to do it on a quarterly basis. So we see, what the number of books. Exactly. I mean, we should be aware. I mean, I'm not in the line of going through and trying to read them. Yeah, we should be aware of what it's going to be.
Just email it monthly.
And then the other thing you can do is you go on our website and go into our catalog. You click down on the menu bar and it'll have just added. So those will be the materials that have just been added the last 30 days.
So how long, what time period, 30 days?
30 days, yeah,
So-
and you can break that down as adult or juvenile as well.
I think it's a good opportunity, if we're already doing that for the interest of transparency, why don't we just consume whatever list we're providing the public?
And that's it.
And it's completely transparent. And you don't have to do the same work twice. If you wanna just print that off for us or something as part of the, like, maybe just do that, but.
Or something to just make it available to us at some point, if we choose to look at it further than what's already on the
Or
website.
if you make yourself a mental note that I want to check it on a certain day of each month, and you would see all those that were added that last 30 days.
Well, do you have an obligation to provide it to us?
Yes, we do.
So then.
Yeah.
You can't just leave it out on the website. If he has an obligation to provide it to the trustee, you can't just. Leave it on the website and tell us to go look, can he? I mean,
Yeah.
you can, is that-
I mean, it's up to you to determine as long as the board is aware of what is being purchased, and that just helps support the library director and also you all to know that everything being purchased is being done so in conjunction with collection development policy. So however you decide to share that list is how you all decide to share.
If the website search is a filter that you can save, you could just send us a link to that filter with each month's, again, so you're not doing a lot of
Yeah,
extra
we don't
work.
wanna create it.
So I think the way, if you went to our catalog right now, there's already a predetermined filter that says new items and it's constantly scrolling. So if you went to our catalog, that information's already present.
Yeah, and the just added option is there, and it just has a list of all the books that has been cataloged the last 30 days. And you're able to break it down if you want to just look at adult or you want to look at juvenile, you'll have the list right there. And that's constantly, as soon as books are cataloged, it's going right on there.
So for the non-computer savvy person,
I
like Tim, if I wanted to go, say in 6 months and find out how many you get ordered.
Yeah.
For that 6-month period.
because I'm gonna get this every month. I will have a physical list every month though, too, so you can,
I think that's.
yeah.
Just for clarification, when we say review, we don't mean like this has caused a lot of confusion, I think. We're not talking about you can do a book report on every single thing. That's not possible. It's just that you are aware, because people will come to you as the director and ask you if they have an issue with the title, they're coming to you. You need to know what's coming in and what's being purchased. And so that's the purpose of that. And you all as a board need to know as well, so that you're just aware. And that just helps support the collection development policy that you all have approved.
So you're gonna get us a list every month, or?
However
Just-
you want it, yeah,
I would prefer just to do it electronically myself.
okay, then,
But the other
Yeah.
board members may want to.
yeah, we can do both,
Both.
yeah. Yeah. I can call.
All right, back to page 3.
Looks like on page 2, can I ask a question back to where we were? Under the direction of the library director, selection of materials is delegated to the collection librarian. And is that one person in each department, or who is
It's one person,
one person for the whole library?
yeah.
And is there a collection development plan? Says within the scope of a written collection development plan. Do you have one? I don't.
Well, that's what's included in this policy. And the collection librarian seeks guidance and will speak to other librarians about materials to order, so. And vice versa, like I could recommend a title for her to purchase.
And they're reviewing professional journals. and-
Absolutely, yeah.
Anything else? On that page, page 3. I had a couple of things under selection criteria
So before you go there,
of the red area.
first 2 dots. It says on this one, reviewing the collection on a regular basis. And I thought we were reviewing the collection on an annual basis. Should this be done regularly or should it be done annually?
It needs to stay annually.
Now, yeah.
Yes, that's a requirement.
Yes.
What line is it on?
It's under bullet point number 2 on page 3.
That's a continuous. It's one. It's her job. Her job is to.
That's true too, yeah.
Yes.
I see where Anja, if you want to speak on that. I see where-
So our collection librarian, she might be the one who puts the book in the cart, but she doesn't act alone. She talks with departments to see the kinds of books that patrons are asking for. We can do, in our ILS, we can do search result findings to see what book is being searched on. So it is actually a continuous, regularly based process that is addressed more than once a year. It's not like we're like, these are all the books we're gonna use.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's reviewing the collection.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
collection development policy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that should be happening all the time. You need to know what to add, what to leave, what to, yes, you've got to do all of it.
Conflict, you guys could clear it up. You say annually on the front. And so we assume.
That's just the
As
policy.
a policy.
We assume that the policy follows through, but Anjanae is saying that for individual, it's not a policy, we're talking now about an individual, so I can buy it. But we're good.
Under selection criteria, the red area there, I'm gonna read the whole thing. Y'all just tell me what you think. Books and materials that contain sexual themes or content are reviewed by the public library independently, I think, instead of
Yeah,
independent.
it's like independence isn't right.
Or age appropriateness and cataloged accordingly. And instead of which may, even if this overrides publisher recommendation. I don't, that one, the which may didn't quite sound right, so there may be other words better than
Potentially.
Could,
even if this, or if
Or
it
which
could, which could
this
override,
may implies permission.
yeah.
Even that could are reviewed by the public library. Is that BCPL?
Would you consider putting in like BCPL instead of, because public library
Yeah.
almost sounded like a separate
So
entity?
this was taken
Mhm.
verbatim from the the agreement.
Yeah.
The state, that's why that's on the library,
Right.
yeah,
And that was meant to be general.
That's
why,
yeah.
There's a few places before this that you guys need to look at.
So just to summarize what's in red, so everyone can understand. There may be a book that the publisher said this book should be for young adult. It gives me the reason to say, no, that book needs to be in the adult section. That's all that in red.
Yes, and we want that because.
Yeah,
there are
that is
some
something new,
that we
yeah,
can-
and we've done that already, we've had one book move.
Yeah.
So,
And so that last, from the comma on the last, I guess might be perhaps potentially overriding publisher recommendation.
Yeah.
Is that?
Potentially, yeah, I like
Yeah.
that, overriding, potentially overriding. Yes, that sounds good.
And that overriding publisher recommendations, again, in the policy, I remember reading it twice. Oh, maybe it was omitted on page 6, under statement of consent. It was moved.
Yes.
Anything else on page 3? Or 4, there weren't any changes on 4, but maybe.
I am curious on the 3, content criteria. Let's see. So it's objectivity, clarity, currency. I'm just curious what's currency. Content.
Is it relevant? Is it a current topic of
Okay,
interest?
I'm
So,
thinking of.
You're thinking money.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if Dave Ramsey puts out a new book.
Currency, that sounds better, right? Currency. Page. Financial planner, $7. I started bringing to my head.
Anything on page 4? Five.
Are we changing the library will be changed on every section to BCPL? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a discussion on memorial law. I don't know. Sure. Do we ever get books donated for memorial?
In memory of someone, yes.
And so do we purchase books by, if someone wanted to do a memorial book, is it, this is $100, you want to do them, I want you to purchase a book, blah, 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 blah. Can I do that too?
They do that too, yeah, so it'd be $100 towards gardening or something, and then the collection librarian would purchase with that money several gardening books.
Does that go through the library or go through the?
Goes to the Friends.
Goes to.
So the Friends gets the memorial donations. The collection librarian purchases the books and we pay them. And she does it basically once a year,
at the end of the year.
You put a plate, so forth.
Yeah, and a card is sent as well.
I was just concerned with how the money flow.
Process, yeah. All right, we good to page 5? All right, page 6.
Page 6. oh,
6.
And why are we
Is it-
removing that second?
Can I make just a nitpick real fast on
Mhm.
page 5? Just drop the section header to the next page instead of leaving it orphaned above. Like it just balance that out whenever all the changes are in.
I did have a question on page 6, the thinking from changing it from request for reconsideration to statement of concern. I just wanted to hear
So
what y'all were thinking about that.
in the past year, I have attended many webinars on this subject. And the shift of requested reconsideration to statement of concern, it has a little more positive or has more positivity. So more libraries you're gonna be seeing that more now. And who knows, maybe in a year or two, they'll wanna change it again to
Yeah.
something really positive.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
in the policy manual if it was a requirement that it be called.
I don't know, no, I think it's just as long as there's a process for the public to bring concerns to about materials to the library board, yeah, and there's a set procedure out there that's made.
Second paragraph, why are we removing it?
Because it was, so that second paragraph had been added on page,
The one I was, yeah.
page was that 2?
Four.
2, yeah. So that has moved to page 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As part of this policy or what the directions that we received from the state, it also gives us an option of adding an age appropriate statement for challenges. If, and this may not be the right place to put it. If we wanted to require any challenges for juvenile books, we had to be a parent
Yes.
Yeah.
challenging
Yes.
of an age appropriate.
But you would also have to put guardian.
Yeah, of course, yes,
Parent
yes.
or guardian,
And-
but it cannot be a grandparent unless that grandparent, that's what the Blount County school system has done. Is they are working toward parent guardian, not grandparents. So.
And that option is available. I mean, that's what the law said or the rules said.
And it was parent or guardian of age appropriate, so if you have a 25-year-old, you can't come in and say, I'm just. wanting to
Yeah,
clarify
yeah.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That off 6, page 6.
Page 6, yeah.
Yeah, on page 6. I'm not sure exactly where to put that, but yeah.
So,
Spell under social media.
page 6 down, under statement of concern, second paragraph. BCPL library card in good standing, i.e. card is not blocked, no fine.
Yeah. Fines do not- Yeah. And then the first sentence in that paragraph, a concerned patron who is dissatisfied with certain library, maybe material with brackets and a S, materials, or just make it with certain library materials, will be offered a packet of materials. A packet,
I think we should
Say
just,
we're
Get rid
offered-
of materials in that second.
Yeah.
And so it could be offered a packet that includes
the mission. Okay, gotcha.
Why don't you just say we'll be offered these documents and list the documents will be offered?
Here, the question on the, that particular section. I had asked Summer to pull together all these particular documents that we're talking about, because we're probably talking about a lot of documents, you know. We're talking about, we're talking about, mission statement, vision statement, library selection and development, community material statement, da. That's gonna be a lot of stuff. Gosh, how, I'm just looking at all this needs to be pulled together, and I just want to see what it looks like, so.
We can, yeah, so when, in previous, when we've had someone request a request for reconsideration, that is included in the packet to the
And it's
And it's only 4 pages.
paper
That's what I
copy.
mean.
or
Yeah.
electronic.
paper copy. Yeah, they have to fill it out and return it. Yeah,
But I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about all the documents that you need to provide to them.
yeah,
In one PDF, one combined document.
yeah.
To me, it seems, well, it seems, like I mean, we're going through the various pages, it seems like it's a lot of pages.
So basically, it's the length
Yeah.
of this policy, so it'd be a
Right.
total of 16 pages.
So we have a deluge of people talking about that they have an issue with, that means significant amount of paperwork is going to be required for you guys.
Yeah. Liz, have you seen other libraries have it electronically, like on their website?
And they download the packet, the person.
That's up to you all. I mean, that would be another way for people to access
Yeah,
that.
Well, let's make it available on the website and they think.
Yeah,
yeah.
just the whole package.
Yeah.
But-
I have to say, I can't say off the top of my head.
Or you can
Yeah.
email it to
Library
them.
have, But we may see it. come
Yeah,
time.
we might, yeah, because this is all new.
Because I mean,
I'm not
just
sure in my region.
Yeah.
But
if there's anybody that has dealt with this already, it'd be great to kind of follow their lead on it instead of
Yeah,
reinventing the wheel if it's already there.
Well, the counties, dealing with it, with it.
County schools, yeah.
Yeah.
And we did send one example, but we're working on other examples,
Yeah.
to kind of, as this progresses, to kind of, so you can kind of look at different ideas of what other
Yeah.
people are doing, how they're handling that, but that's certainly up to you all if you want to make it available online. I do think it's fairly standard procedure for when someone makes a statement of concern or request for reconsideration, to provide them with, well, this is our policy, this is our, this is all the different things in the packet, this is our mission, this is our vision, this is, so that they're aware, because they may not be aware that that's what all that is. It's just to, I think, bring awareness, but I think that's pretty common practice to provide people with that when they make, statement of concern, so they know.
It's probably not a problem if you get 1 or 2 a month or whatever. I mean, if you were to look at this in the last 2 or 3 months, you're probably looking at 10, 20 individuals requesting that type of information at one time.
I mean, we had what? Was it 13 or something? 18, what at 13?
13.
At once, so. We didn't have fun. Yeah, we didn't have fun.
Is your concern like the paper?
I'm just talking.
So we charge to print at the partnership for them, so if they make a request and we ask for that, I don't know.
If
Yeah,
it's available online, you can
yeah,
also
they
point
to
them
them.
to
Yeah,
that,
yeah. If they want printed at the library, they could go to one of our terminals. and
Yeah.
pay the
I have to pay them.
Yeah, and that eliminate.
Yeah.
Can I hop back above statement of concern? Okay. Where it says the guidelines for selection materials for youth services follow the same principle as those put forth in the adult collection. I don't see where it says adult collection anywhere. The title, what is that? Is the adult collection just the philosophy of selection? Is that?
So that would be under page 3, selection criteria, starting at where it says general criteria, and then the content criteria.
And so it's referring to something that's not specified, but my question is, should it follow that? Should the youth services follow? And I guess as a policy, yes.
Yeah.
As a practice or procedure, perhaps it should be a little more restricted. Or use better judgment as to items.
That's what that statement right there on page 3 is saying. Books and materials that contain sexual themes or content are reviewed by the public library independent. That override publisher recommendation, that's what that was referring to.
But we reference adult collection, but it's not referenced on page 3, so we should probably put whatever that title is, selection, the philosophy of selection. Whatever we title that. See what I'm saying? We're referring.
Could we refer to just the selection criteria?
Yes,
Yeah,
whatever it's referenced on
Yes.
page 3.
so if we
Should have
said,
the same name.
Yeah.
so if we said selection criteria, because it's collection, it's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
because I was like, adult collection, there's the rules on that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, nitpicking. All right.
I've got one more nitpick on page 6. The parenthetical aside, i.e. card is not blocked, fines exceeding $5 or have expired. Can we make that a Oxford comma? Because I read or have expired as applying to the fines and not as the library card is expired. That was a,
Yeah.
it was a company in our industry that, it was a multi-million-dollar mistake because they didn't do that.
Oh, my.
And somebody misinterpreted that statement, so
We could put the card stuff together so that the card is not
Yeah.
blocked or.
that's even better. Yeah,
Mhm.
even better.
And I'll just beg the question of, should we limit or restrict people who want to submit a statement of concern?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we've already talked about that. Where was that battle fought? Are you talking from the county side or?
I fought that battle in this room.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't a county, it wasn't a card holder. Or was it a card holder?
Card holder with the fines were close to $100.
Yeah.
I think the county also in the policy that they're working on the schools is limiting how many challenges one person can do in a year too.
And does it make sense to try to be somewhat consistent with the county? That's something else to think about.
Yeah.
Or to consider.
Just something to think about.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. As a-
Yeah.
Opinion one way or the other necessarily, but.
No.
That we shouldn't try to be consistent with the county.
The statement from the collection development internet safety policy minimum requirements about the age appropriateness says. Defines which parties may dispute or challenge the library's age appropriate designation on materials. With such a definition at a minimum, including a parent or guardian of a minor within the library district. So that's, yeah. That's in this. The
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, we distributed that, last month, but this is the signed copy that she got this year. This one is in the first two elections. Anything else on page 6? Moving on to page 7. The first line at the top. Of that, let's see. Within 30 days, the library director will make a decision and send a letter to the concerned patron who requested the concern.
You're submitted.
Submitted, I think is what, yeah,
The better word. I think.
yeah, submitted the concern. And in the next paragraph there, toward the middle, a group of selected trustees by the board chair. I think that should say a group of
Trustees.
trustees selected by the board chair.
And do you want that, does the board chair want that responsibility, or should it be volunteers of the board, or?
Well, none of y'all will volunteer though.
Yeah.
So she didn't
Oh,
select them. And it needs to be some different people next time. 'Cause I'm tired of being blasted.
So let it go.
What is, I struggle with this statement. What is read, and I struggled with it with all the requests. What does read, view, or listen mean?
Well, you could have someone could challenge a DVD or an audiobook.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah.
so you have to, if it's a book, you have to actually
What
read
about-
Yeah.
the book.
Could
its entirety.
could we just change that to a generic word like consume? Or like review, something that doesn't imply what action is.
So
being
if you
taken?
said. I don't want someone to grab the cliff notes.
Yeah.
Well, he's suggesting to take out the entirety
Hmm.
word.
So to consume the material in question in its entirety.
Or review,
Or
or
review.
something that just doesn't
I
imply
think
whether or not.
consume because review,
Yeah.
I just haven't understood, yeah. View, well, that's a DVD, okay.
yeah.
So if we get a challenge on a book, whoever gets selected has to read the book to its entirety, but it's not the whole board, it's just that group,
Correct,
which has
so-
been what they've kind of, okay.
Yeah, and that's just to clarify because we didn't have that in the previous,
Okay,
so.
that fixes that.
Same thing with the first paragraph, because when we created this policy over a year ago, we didn't expect to have. Here's 18 titles right here, 5 of them, so we're all scrambling. We thought it would just be one, and so you just.
And sometimes the books are checked out, you can't
That-
get them, they're
yeah.
not online, it's all, there's an issue with timing with all of
Yeah.
that too.
Is there a reason why it's bolded
Yeah.
in the second paragraph?
I don't know, I could have just had it in bold and just kept going.
Wasn't it in bold before?
Actually, you know what, I think it
I think
was,
it was
yeah,
bold
it was
before.
bold before,
Yeah.
so.
Take that out of old.
Bold.
The next paragraph that starts with the library board chair reserves the right to limit the length of public comments. At the end of that paragraph, from the date on which a decision is made, the material may not be challenged for 1 calendar year. I just wanted to clarify that and see if that was okay with you all, if it should be longer or.
Is that an arbitrary thing decided by us, or is that?
Correct, and I
Okay.
had it longer, but then speaking to other colleagues in the state, 1 year seemed to be the right thing to do, because I actually had it a little longer, and seems like 1 year seems to be
Let's
the.
do 10 years.
Like,
10 years?
Get me off this board.
I just want to kind of.
Mariah, don't you write that down? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Teasing.
Don't you think that, I like giving 1 calendar year, but don't you think it conflicts with the decision from the library or board of trustees is final? I struggled with that word and then us putting a timeline on it.
Would it be,
So
would it be better to say instead of final, to say there's no further appeal, or just kind of clarify that? So then,
I mean, we could, if we wanna, if we all agree on 1 year, maybe we could say is final for 1 calendar year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
For 1 calendar year.
Binding.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
binding
It's
instead of
much
final.
better than final.
Yeah.
Right.
That word, yeah.
That's why it's great to have an attorney.
It is.
Even the attorney, is only a criminal attorney.
Well, they still keep us out of that.
He doesn't find that word funny.
It's not sufficient.
The next paragraph, the library recognizes Blount County patrons. Therefore seeks to develop collections that cover, I think we can eliminate on. Cover all
Son of
sides
an issue, yes.
County patrons.
Anything else on that page? Page 7?
I'll see if the weeding evaluation, put it
Yeah.
on the next page.
Yeah.
I have kind of a question, comment, thought. Is for 7 and 8. I've talked with Mamie about this before, but something I kind of struggle with is a lot of the, especially for the weeding, not so much the collection development. But there's a lot of generic language about removing items that are no longer relevant. And I'm in such a metrics driven world that I kind of almost like to see a definition. It's like, if nobody checks a book out in 2 years, we should get rid of that book. Like, it should be weeded. Like, if nobody in the county is consuming it, it thus meets the definition of no longer relevant. And I don't know, like, I feel like there's just a lot of room to just kind of let things sit, when it almost seems like we could define a fairly generous, but like a cutoff where it's like, this book has been sitting here, nobody's consuming it. We
Although
should
that might be more.
Put it on the
of a
short list for reading.
Procedure.
That's a
Yeah.
procedure.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But
And you think about the classics, some of them don't get checked
right,
out.
but
much.
there
You know
are
what
things
to do.
that, in the 70s, when nobody cared about ancient Egypt
Yeah.
until.
Right, then it comes back.
And then, so that's sort of thorny, because things go in and out of vogue.
That's right. I'd argue that a well-maintained, very expansive digital collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We
I don't
accept
know.
donations.
Yeah.
You also have to consider, I mean, especially when you're providing medical resources,
Mm.
they have to be updated. And I mean, as we go through like space exploration and other things that change where we thought we knew what the answer was, but then, oh, now that's no longer relevant. Now we come to this part, now we know. So that's kind of relevancy there too, is
Currency versus.
yes.
Currency. Yeah.
The currency.
And for the right amount of currency.
We are accepting all forms of currency.
Page 8, anything on that page?
Duplicate copies heading to the next page.
I think it was the spicy.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
9. Ten.
I do for number 7. I'm struggling with that one.
So if a patron comes in and they have a concern for a book, this question here is to, well, what would you recommend if it's a subject matter of, I don't know. What would you say?
I said, if it's a subject matter on LGBTQ,
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
would be
we've
a,
got community members.
Yeah.
So if their issue is that it's just got an LGBTQ member, well, then what would you recommend for this community member who has that information need?
But read the, I get that, but read the like actual question. What book, video, equal quality would you recommend that would convey a valuable picture and perspective of our culture as the book video gives back to you? I don't, it's hard, it's a mouthy to me, I don't know.
It's very wordy. I don't-
Do they have? I have none.
And then do they have to fill out this and thing to its entirety? 'Cause that's another question of mine, is like,
They do not. We've
Okay.
had some that have, and what Logan just said, someone said I have not, and another one had something really nasty that they put there. So,
okay.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think that you guys are opening, I don't know if I would include that. I mean, I get what you're aiming for, but you may be just opening a can of worms there.
Why?
Because what if they say, well, I suggested this book, and it's like the KKK revivals, and why didn't they take that suggestion seriously or something? You know? I know, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I just feel like, why would we ask?
We do that for everything, though. I did have a member ask for one of the new Kurt Cameron books, of course, and we got it. And they were actually shocked that we bought the book.
Yeah, but
Couldn't
you know,
understand why.
yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, because at a certain point, isn't it kind of, once this concern is placed there, then as you go through the review process, isn't part of what the role is to determine, okay, so let's say that, and I'm just making something up, instead of, I think that we shouldn't have Schindler's List here, but I think we should have the protocols of the Zions of Elder, or the Elders of Zion. Okay, so, you know, which is one, debunked, and two, just totally
Yeah,
off the chain. So I mean,
that's what I'm getting at.
I guess it's kind of something that if we don't have it, I think there's going to be some blowback of, well, I had this certain thing in mind. I mean, I think that, you know, I think that part of what one of the things that's being cast against us is that we're not giving people an ability to put forth any other alternatives, which is not to say the alternatives are any good, but I mean, I kind of want to, you know.
If people aren't answering the question generally, why don't we?
Or give place for other comments, or.
Why couldn't we reword the question to be a little softer and just be like, do you have any suggestions for a different book?
Which I think just that.
They just be done.
Fine.
I think if you say equal quality, you're just like, it could be,
It almost feels like you're kind of like, it's almost accusatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people might not respond well to that.
yeah. I read it like that.
You can almost ask it, so, you know, do you have something that you would recommend?
Yeah, do you suggest an
I think
alternative?
that's good.
And just like,
Or the recommendation.
Yeah.
The recommendation.
Do we want the recommendation to be open, or if it's a
But
why?
I think it would be, we can word it some way that the recommendation ties back into what the concern is. I think that would be good, because,
Yeah.
you know,
for an equivalent book or.
Yeah.
right, yeah, because I think that's the important thing, is that equivalency versus, you know.
Anything.
Yeah. Barbara Streisand biography.
Right, yes,
Yeah.
Y'all work on that wording. The rest of this document are Library Bill of Rights, Freedom to Read Statement, and Freedom to View Statement, and we don't have the authority to change things. These are official documents. So unless you saw any spelling or corrections for spacing.
Space.
Go to number 14. Number 5. Third line down. The idea or idea.
So where I cut and pasted this from, that's, I guess.
Call it back.
This
Um,
idea.
Although that may be coming back, it might be archaic language from the original.
I was gonna say from 1939, it was probably.
Yeah.
this was 1953.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah. 1953. Okay, any other, feedback on that? Go along with it. That's okay, we needed to get that nailed down.
Yeah, probably the
That's
most
most important.
of all the policies.
Yes,
that we
And,
do.
and next month, I'm hoping that we will have the internet safety policy.
Oh, we had to approve that in June. Yeah.
Okay, so we're good on that one.
Yeah.
All right, last item under new business. 2024 building closure schedule. We need a vote on this. Okay. Do I have a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm good.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. The important dates for commission meetings, friends meetings, foundation, and et cetera are on your agenda there. Anybody have any other things?
I'll be absent at our next meeting. I'm gonna be at our annual training conference in Memphis, so much I'd rather be here instead of there, but.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn.
So motion.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you all.